gentlemen, this is Eddie Marcus again. I want to thank you so very much for stopping on this post, and I hope by the time you go, you feel real blessed, better than you did when you stopped, and ready to come back to see what more we have. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but you know our nation is going through some trying times today. It seems as if the ultimate power is set out to destroy our nation, and it's done everything it possibly could over time and from the outside, and now it seems to be manifesting its greatest power from the inside, and it is being quite effective in this moment in time, especially when we look at what's going on in the impeachment process. I'm reminded how convenient it is and how easy it is for people to be so deceived and think they know it all, and really are just as deceived as they could not imagine. For an example, there was a time, and I use myself because I'm more familiar, that I was curious about some of the events that were happening in our society, and I started reaching out to certain forms of the social media. And immediately I was amazed at the information that I was getting from these particular sources, because I got none of that from mainstream media. And so I'm beginning to think, is it possible that the system could be keeping information from us, information that is essential for our own well-being, and are they making a decision that it is their best judgment that we should not have that information? To give an example, I was listening to Lou Dobbs. Man sounds so genuine. Man sound almost like Dan Rather someone. And also I had the occasion to listen to Alex Jones. And I mean, this guy was coming from some places that you couldn't even imagine. I mean, Columbine, kids acting like they've been shot. And to what purpose would all of this been going on? But to any inquisitive mind, it would darn sure stretch the imagination, but not to the point that you pass it up. You want to see and look into this matter. I'm amazed. But this is the information that was being given. This is the information that I had received, and it really had my attention. I didn't know whether it was true. It sounds like something that is impossible to be true. But yet and still, these kinds of things can happen. So you better check things out. On top of that, you got all the information about Trump and the Clintons and all that kind of stuff. You got people eating babies and people eating human feces. You got all kinds of stuff out there. And I mean, you got, oh, brother. And so you start broadening your scope. Reach out further. And then you find something that's totally contradictory to what you've been hearing all the time. And you say, wow, what's going on? Now, what if someone is introduced to one version and that's all they watch? You don't want to watch anything else because it strokes you just right. Like, for instance, and I'll just be specific, like if you're interested in what's going on and you're a part of it and you believe those basic sentiments and you jumped on Fox and you started listening to that, you don't want to hear anything else. And if you heard something else and it wasn't going along with what Fox is saying, you didn't want to hear it. And for those of you who are on the other side, who are listening on the other side, you don't want to hear a thing that Fox saying. It just makes you want to puke. You people are so divided, someone outside would say. And then when you really take a step back and look at both sides, both of them as genuine as they could possibly present themselves. Each believing that they're totally right. Each dug in. And there's no coming together in nothing like that. Now that's when you can tell that programming has been successful. Up until that time, you might have been able to cross the line a little bit. You might have been able to stroke a little bit. You might be able to have a little compassion, a little empathy, and you could understand a little bit. But when you got to the point that there's no coming together, then you got to a dangerous situation. I heard somewhere when Barack Obama was the president, they said there was no way he was going to appoint not one federal judge, not one, justice. I heard somewhere they were saying everything that he tried to touch and try to get and cause to happen, we're going to do everything we can to prevent it. We're not going to help him at all. I heard somebody say that. Then I heard somebody say, well, whatever he's successful on doing, when we get in, we're going to tear it down. Wow. Wow. The nation, you can see it falling apart, falling farther and farther apart. I mean, the program has been set. The program has been accepted. And so you might ask, well, why am I constantly talking to you about these kinds of things? I do it because I am trying to persuade you. I am trying to influence you. I am trying to get you to understand that irregardless of how great any of us are, we still are not the greatest. The greatest that we could possibly be can only be manifest when you put it all together and see how great thou art. And so I want you to see that the decisions that we have made as individuals, though they were genuinely good on some fronts, that at the same time on others they weren't. I want you to see that the decisions that we have made work for some and work against others. And I want you to understand that that is not good enough. We all wish that we are always on the winning side. None of us want to be on the losing side. Grown men play games and lose and bust out and cry. Nobody wants to lose. And why should we lose if we can possibly be all winners? The thing that makes us in that position is that we don't know the plan. We don't know the path. No one has shown us. They've only shown us what has been here, what they've accepted. And by us not knowing any better, we've ridden that horse all the way to here. But my mission, ladies and gentlemen, is to let you know that there is a power bigger than any nation, better than any nation, more fitting for praise and honor than any nation or any individual, that is more us than anything that we've given us to. I want you to know that there's a power you can't see, can't touch, can't feel. But the evidence of the existence is all that is as far as we know. And that anything beyond that would be faith. Faith understanding that if it can do all of this, then it can fix all of this. And that we should put our faith in that we can't see for the benefit of what we desire and want rather than what we decide is best. When up front it shows distress, in that it always leaves those in pain. Ladies and gentlemen, I declare, I don't deny it. I want to influence you to trust God. And let me tell you one thing, how you can know when it comes down to people. If it's God. Black people will be prone to serve black people first. Maybe it's just a natural instinct. White people will be prone to serve white people first. Maybe just a natural instinct. Asian people will be prone to serve Asian people first. It's just a natural instinct. Men will be prone to serve men first. I guess it's just a natural instinct. Women will be prone to serve women first. I guess that's just a natural instinct. So anything that any of us do, we're going to bring with it the biases. Now, That has been programmed. We didn't come into the world like that. That has been programmed. And if we want something other than that, we're going to have to be programmed. Reprogrammed. Some people call it reborn, born again. You know that kind of conversation, how it goes. But the mission, the path that leads to peace and prosperity and joy and freedom, it can only come from the one that made freedom. It can only come from the one who made prosperity, from the one who made joy, and from the one who made dreams come true. It ain't me. I might promise you, baby, if you stay with me, I give you the world. But you'll find out if you live me a little while, that was something that just wasn't true. But there is one that has given it all to you, and now wants you to know how to get it. Listen here, ladies and gentlemen. God says, I will give you all things. Love. I'll give you all things. I'll give you your greatest imagination. I mean, and set it up so it can happen. But you do this. How do you achieve this? Through relationship, through family, through us, all of us, bringing and giving the best of us to us. My. And God says the only way to keep this is not listen to another. In other words, let this be your choice and not some other. Well, I don't know just how it happened. We've heard all kinds of stories about how it happened, but somewhere down the line, it happened. We listened to another. And I can imagine it went something like this. You know, we say whatever is loving and wonderful and fantastic, we call that God. And whatever's the opposite, we call it the devil, Satan, Lucifer, whatever. But anyway, when God just said you would have all of these things, that one thing that would deny it is if you listen or make another choice. So another choice is made this way. I can see the devil coming to the people and say, yeah, that's the only thing you know. You haven't heard the full story. The full story is that what you are experiencing as being so fantastic, it is nothing. It ain't even worth it, because I can give you more. You think that's all right? I can give you something that would make that take a flight, because it ain't nothing. Got somebody's attention. Now, to make a long story short, everybody needs what everybody's been dealing with all the time. And it doesn't go away just because you want to change things. So nobody's trying to say, take away those things from it. They're just basically trying to say, you get your pleasure. And in order to do that, they say what we're going to do is we're going to institute money. That will be the motivating force. Not this relationship, but your relationship with money. And by having money, everything costs. And if you got more money, you can have more stuff. And if you got more money than some, then that makes you bigger and better. Evidently so. That means you can ride in the Cadillac while they're riding in the Pinto. That means you can ride the Pinto while they're walking, pushing the basket or grocery cart. Oh, my friends. And in order to make that happen for the people, they came up with the money, designed how it's going to be spent, who's going to get it, and then all over the nation they follow that basic principle. And because it's the way they believe in progress, they get angry and they treat each nation, each other nation, the same way that they treat one another. And sometimes the nations come together, group themselves together like Republicans and Democrats when they got different agendas. And they're divided, the nations of the world are divided, and they end up having terrorism. What is terrorism? Terrorism is dissent. Terrorism is, I'm tired, and I ain't taking it no more. That's what terrorism is. I've done the best I can. I've negotiated. I've shared with you the powers of the unseen God. And yet, you still want to abuse me. You still want to take advantage of me so that you can prove that you're God by giving those who favor you what you have stolen from others. And because they reap the reward and they are told they are great and better, they go along with it. See, God says you can have it just by being family, loving, relationship. Now, someone else has deceived you and got you lying and cheating and stealing and terror and war, and that's all you're going for. Now, when money is that choice, you know what's going to happen, don't you? As I was looking at the impeachment on television the other day, I'm looking at those who were representing the Republican perspective. And as I see them make the statements, they all of a sudden didn't look human to me. I remember a time I used to work at Cook County Hospital, and I used to pass by the morgue on the lower level, going to my workstation in hematology. And when I first started going through there, and the door was open one day, and I saw the cadavers lying on the table, and I never just seen it the way I saw it. And for a while they were working there, I started seeing people as mannequins with a spirit in them. I saw them as that because I always know that there's God. I know there's spirit. I always know that there's life. And to see these bodies moving, I know spirit, life is in them. So I kind of saw them. I was just thinking about those mannequins. If some life came back and jumped in them, they stood up, it would be amazing. But anyway, I saw this. And so when I'm seeing these things happen, Cook County, mannequins, and then I'm looking at us today. Here's a nation, a people, saying, I'm tired. I'm tired. And exploitation is the order of the day. I'm reminded that the natives, I'm just talking to the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen. I don't mean to offend anybody but evil. I don't intend to offend anybody but sin. I don't want to offend anybody but the devil. And somebody came in and took their land. And the people who got a chance to possess the land thought it was a great, wonderful thing. Then again, people were brought into this nation as slaves. And others benefited from it. And so they accepted that. And up until this point in time, that has never been rectified. I mean, most times you expect a priest to apologize when he's done and committed one of the most evil, ugly things you can imagine. And some of them do. What about the people? What about apologizing, but not just in words? There's only one way you can fix this thing. When you hear the Republicans saying what they're saying and Democrats upset because they know this is not any good, we all know that the Democratic Party is a long way from being acceptable, really, in good favor. But it is so much closer than the Republican Party. And now we find out that in one period of time, it could be the Democrats on the good side, or another time, the Republicans on the good side. So things just switching and switching and switching. And all that switching and switching and switching, things still remain the same. So ladies and gentlemen, like when Trump released what he called his transcript of his second phone call, and it got criticized, and he wanted to release the first phone call. And many of you might ask yourself, now, why did he release that letter? If you listened to it and it was read out, ask yourself, what did the letter do? The letter did nothing to make Trump look evil, deceitful, mean. It made him look just as normal as you and I. And he released it. That's what you expect him to do. Now, just think about how innocent he would look. I mean, just think about how innocent he would look if he allowed those workers that he has said don't say anything. Go there, testify. If he allowed all of the documentation that's been given to try to put him down, give it over there. Stand back like a man. Stand back like the boldest man on the face of the earth. Give it to him and let it defend me. Don't you know if he could, he would? And if he can't, he ain't. But just because he doesn't mean that you, the human being, got to act like a fool, like you can't think, like you can't see, like you can't hear. Because when you do act like you can't do these things, then that's when you are lost. That's when the United States become Russia. That's when the United States become North Korea. That's when the United States become China. And let me tell you something since I'm talking to you. Don't think for 1 minute just because the Democrats say we are not that bad. See, the Republicans already confirmed they're riding that monkey to hell if they have to. But just because the Democrats say, well, we're not that bad, you should give us a try. Ladies and gentlemen, it is bigger than that. We have never seen in our lifetime the kind of evil being perpetrated against we, the people, before as we are seeing it right now. So a major decision is being made. Are we going to hell or are we going to heaven? And I'm not talking about some hell burning fire. I'm talking about is America going to become a hell? A hell where those people that we see at the border, they are running from a hell. In Hong Kong, they are going through hell. Are we going to be a people that's going to start experiencing hell here continuous like we've never before? Or are we going to take the opportunity to do the best that we as a people can possibly come together and do? And rather than experience hell here, create for ourselves heaven. And all it takes, relationships. We, family, our unseen father, our mother, has given us everything we need to create and cause to manifest whatever we want, even whatever we desire. Yes, I be talking to you, and I'm trying to influence you. I'm trying to persuade you to trust God. And here in America, not the Republicans or the Democrats. And I'm trying to encourage the Republicans and the Democrats, those things that you want to deserve it only if you facilitate the same for others. And if you can't do that, you don't deserve it. You ain't nowhere in the world you're going to get it unless you're following the devil. And he's going to always lead you down a path that causes what we have today. Wake up, my friends. Eddie Marcus told you that God is life. Until next time, bye-bye.